Today on the show we're going to be recapping and reviewing Marvel Legacy, why overall I really like this comic. So our comic actually starts out with a voiceover and someone's talking about legacy. It's implied that they're quite young because they say that you would think that they were stupid for talking about the legacy at their age. But then we see a group of heroes like in caveman times defending the Earth from a celestial. You have ancient allegories for Thor, the Sorcerer Supreme, Black Panther, Ghost Rider, the Phoenix, and several others. Although I guess it is worth mentioning that the ancient allegory for Thor is just Odin, his dad. Then we have Ghost Rider. He's woken up in South Africa. And he's like, where the hell am I? The police have pulled him over. And then he just flies away in his car. As he's driving away, Starbrand begins to attack him, and Starbrand is going on about, I can't let you anywhere near it. The Earth isn't prepared. You're not prepared. Obviously, Robbie is like, I have no idea what the fuck this guy is talking about. But it gets to a point where he has to defend himself, so he goes into full Ghost Rider mode. And then we go to Loki, and he's basically convinced a bunch of runt frost giants that his father will pay them all respect if they go to Midgard for him and collect something. So all of them are like, Loki, you better come through on your promise because we're doing this, and if you don't, we're gonna kill you. So they go to Midgard to pick up something from a S.H.I.E.L.D. storage facility. At the storage facility, there's a bunch of guys there, and because S.H.I.E.L.D. is shutting down, they basically have to get rid of everything in there. And this is the room with like all the most dangerous artifacts that S.H.I.E.L.D. has picked up over the years. There's this crate, and there's no record of it being there. It shouldn't be there. And as they're talking, the frost giants attack as they do, and then Thor and Captain America turn up. Naturally, this is Jane Foster as Thor and Sam Wilson as Captain America. As the battle turns sour and one of the frost giants takes one of the soldiers hostage, Ironheart turns up and makes quick work of that frost giant. We then go to a clip of Steve Rogers. The fact that he was evil for the past few months is all over the news, and people want to hold him accountable for it even though they know it wasn't him. So he's just like in this old diner drinking coffee, hiding out for a bit by the looks of things. But then we see one of the royal viziers of Asgard, and he had a vision of the future that made him decide that he did not want to see anymore. So he throws himself off the Rainbow Bridge into the void of nothing. He says 3 words as he dies. Mangog is coming. Then we go to the Stark facility in Dover, New Jersey, and it turns out Tony Stark is up, he's awake from his coma, he's not where he should be, and no one knows where the fuck he's gone. We go to Starbrand and Ghost Rider. The two of them are still fighting. They eventually bring their fight over to an archaeological dig, which is not where Starbrand wants this fight to go, because whatever thing he's trying to keep Ghost Rider away from is drawing the two of them closer to it. One of the two soldiers actually protecting the archaeological dig actually threatens Starbrand with a gun, and he just kills them on sight, and then flies away to go keep fighting Ghost Rider. Then we go to Deadpool. He's in a toilet, acting like it's a confessional, and the police want him to come out with his hands up and surrender, and when he just keeps like praying to himself, they begin to shoot him, but it's Deadpool, so that really doesn't have much effect on him. We go to Doctor Strange, and it turns out that someone tried to enter the Sanctum Sanctorum without his permission. Like they tried breaking in, but his shrubbery stopped them. And then we see it was Norman Osborn, and he is walking away pissed off about this. We have a scene with Jarvis and Nadia, and Jarvis is like, something feels wrong. I can't put my finger on it. Everything is exactly where it should. Everything is exactly as it should be, but something just feels missing or wrong. We go back to the fight with the Frost Giants, and Ironheart is so excited to be fighting alongside Thor and Captain America that she wants to cry out, Avengers Assemble. So the two of them are just like, okay, you know, you can do it. If you're that excited to do it, just do it. And then she goes, Avengers? And she can't remember the following line. But then we have the Frost Giants, and they're like pissed off that it's these three. They're like, these aren't the Avengers. We want to fight the real Avengers. We will not die by some pretenders. Then one of the Frost Giants grabs the crate that they went there to get and begins running for it. Then we have a scene with The Thing and Johnny Storm, and Johnny is not overly convinced the world needs them anymore. Like, you can make an entire superhero team out of Thors and Hulks now, so why would the world need him or any of his friends anymore? Thing just thinks he's being an idiot, and then he shoots a flare gun into the sky, which turns into the shape of a 4. Then we go to Alpha Flight's Deep Space Monitoring Station, and 2 people that are actually monitoring it go away, and as they go away, they get a transmission from the Teo star system asking the Hulk to come home. We finally return to the fight between Ghost Rider and Starbrand, and Ghost Rider manages to defeat Starbrand by using a penance stare for his first time. Other Ghost Riders have managed this, but this is his first time using it. He calms down from the fight, begins to drive away, but doesn't realize he is driving towards that same archaeological dig that Starbrand did not want him going near. The archaeologists at the dig find a cave. They begin to go into the cave, and as they enter deeper and deeper, they find the Celestial from the flashback at the beginning. And the Celestial says, "Summon the final host." We go to the Frost Giant that was running away, and he is hit by a truck. Naturally, it begins to rage, attacks the truck, and he tells him that he is dead. And the man just says that I ain't dead no more. Then we go to Jean Grey, who goes to Wolverine's monument, and there she sees that Wolverine has cut himself out of his adamantium case and he is back. And her only words are, "Welcome back, we missed you." Because let's face it, Jean Grey's entire legacy is built upon dying and then coming back about 10 years later. She is the only person that cannot be surprised about this because she's experienced it. Upon defeating the Frost Giant, he opens the crate that the Frost Giant was running away with, and he picks out one of the Infinity Stones, which the comic doesn't fail to remind us that the Guardians of the Galaxy are currently looking for. And then we go to Loki, who goes into the cave to see the Celestial himself. Then we just have these panels that sort of show the state of melancholy that the Marvel Universe is in. We see these stills of all the heroes in their current life. And then we see Valeria and Franklin Richards exploring the multiverse together, and the voiceover that's been talking about legacy through this entire book is Valeria Richards. And she says, "My name is Valeria Richards. I'm closing my eyes now and imagining my way home, and I'll see you when I get there." I cried when I read this, and I think I'm the only person I know that's had that reaction, and let me tell you for why. This comic successfully managed to encapsulate a feeling that I've wanted to see from Marvel since they did Marvel Now the first time. This entire comic feels like an end of a chapter. Every other time that they've done something like this, it has not felt like an end of a chapter. It sort of felt forced. But this feels like everyone at Marvel unanimously has said, we have this idea to just let current things end, and we're going to start anew properly this time. What really hit me about this is, for the longest time, Marvel to me has felt like a childhood friend that over the years has become very restrained and very much a watered down version of what they used to be. They used to be free, they used to be fun, they used to be a good time to hang out with, and then over the years they've just become very watered down. Marvel Legacy felt fun, it felt free. Yeah, it felt serious and heavy, but it felt free, and that was the first time in a long time that I've read a Marvel comic and I'm like, this felt completely free. I fucking loved this. Marvel Legacy just hit me in so many places that DC Rebirth didn't even come close to hitting me. Like, I physically cried at this. It's not a sad comic, but I cried. To be honest, the return of Wolverine in this book kind of makes sense. I wish it wasn't announced prior to its release, but it was. And then I was more surprised at Valeria. Like, as you know, I've been a little bit out of the loop with Marvel for the past few months, but I'm getting back into it. I'm catching up very fast. I just haven't seen Valeria in anything yet. So I was really shocked to see her here. Probably more so than Wolverine, but I would have liked to have had that double whammy of, oh my god, Wolverine is back. Oh my god, Valeria is back. I wish Wolverine's return was not announced prior to the comic. I really just don't know what this could lead up to or what it could mean. What I would like to happen is for magic to be restored throughout the multiverse, because magic's just been a little bit finicky since the last days of magic. My one criticism is that this whole comic was about legacy this, legacy that, and it was supposed to be sort of like, yes, this is our legacy. Where were the Runaways? Where were the Young Avengers? Where were the new X-Men from 2003? Like, they had their own team. These are all legacy characters. Even just a page with all of those teams in group shots would have worked fine. It just would have made more sense to have those legacy characters in there because as things stand at the moment, I'm like, where are they? Why weren't they included? Overall, I really like Marvel Legacy #1, and I definitely recommend everyone go and read it for themselves. Just because I recapped it doesn't mean you shouldn't read it, because like, it had such a strong reaction from me. Like, I've never cried over something like this before. It's made me reassess what I look for in a comic, because as much as I do look for a deeper meaning and esoteric messages, maybe I don't just look for that. Maybe I also look for an aspect of freedom in there, an aspect of not giving a shit if people might not like it. Because I think when you don't give a shit if it sells, that's when it sells. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. So what did you think of Marvel Legacy? Please leave in the comments down below. So don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to all of my social links, and I will see you next time.